Hey, welcome to Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. You caught me in the kitchen again. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in here because I don't want to go that trip all the way into town to get a little bit of food. A friend of mine, she asked me to share my deviled egg recipe with y'all and her. This is my deviled egg plate. If this thing could talk, man, it got stories to tell. I've had this for decades. And it's been to a lot of church suppers and a lot of Thanksgiving dinners and holidays and everything. I put my eggs here, and then I make my homemade potato salad. I put that there. That'll be for another day. But I'll set that right there. Another friend of mine gave me a tip on how to do boiled eggs with fresh chicken eggs. I know a lot of you homesteaders out there, you have fresh chicken eggs. And trying to peel those without it all coming apart and your eggs looking all ratty looking and falling apart. She said to get the water boiling. So they say a watch pot never boils, so I got this in boiling before y'all started watching. So anyway, since the water's hot, I use a little help to put the eggs in the water because I want to stay away from boiling water. There we go. I'm just going to get your eggs at room temperature. You do not want them cold because if you put them into that boiling water cold, those things are going to crack wide open. You might lose an egg now and then, even at room temperature, but it sure is worth it not to have them to come apart when you're trying to peel them. Alright, we're getting the eggs in there. I'm going to put 11 of my fresh hen eggs here. That takes your temperature of your water down a little, so I'm going to put the lid back on there and let that bring it to a boil. And then I'm going to set my thermometer. What do you call it? Timer. There we go. About 15 minutes. So my other prep should be done by the time my eggs are get boiled. So I'm going to put my Michael Jackson glove here on. Keeps me from sawing off any digits that I might need later. What we're going to have is a stalk of celery, and you want to dice all this stuff as fine as possible. I mean, just go over and over and over until it's really tiny, because you're going to be putting this into the egg yolk. So I've got one stalk of celery, and then I'm only going to take a portion of half this onion. Lay that aside. I'm going to mince that all up. And then I've got a half a dill pickle. And I've got these roughly chopped, and I'm going to go back over them and just mince away here while I'm not looking totally. And then what I use is usually about a tablespoon or two of mayonnaise. And I like the spicy mustard, the spicy brown mustard. I use about a spoonful of that, tablespoon on both of these. And I'll put the recipe at the bottom of the video. And plus, I'm going to use garlic, some curry powder, black pepper, maybe a little chili. If you want your deviled eggs on a little bit on the hot side, you can mince up some jalapeno peppers. They're good. Or you can put in a little Tabasco sauce for a little extra kick. And also a good tip, if you're invited to a spur of the minute party, just you can actually skip all these ingredients and just go with the mayonnaise, the mustard, and a little extra spices. And that way it's going to save a little bit of time. Because it takes a while to fill all these eggs up. So, I'll be back in a minute, and I'll show you how those eggs come out, see if they peel good. Alright, see you in a little bit. Be right back. Hi, welcome back. For a recap, I put almost a dozen eggs into boiling water. Room temperature fresh eggs in the boiling water. And And now, the moment of truth, we'll see if they peel cleanly instead of like fresh eggs usually do. Let's see how we're doing here. As I used to be so petrified of my eggs turning out bad that I would go up to Dollar General and pick out the oldest eggs they had in the cooler. Because the older the eggs, the better they peel. Let's see. As all you folks out there with fresh eggs from your own chickens. I've had my own chickens for 13 years out here. So, but until I learned that trick, see there? Perfect. My eggs would look ratty because of the clumps of the white would come off with the peel, no matter how careful I was. But you can see how quick I'm doing these. And they're coming clean. There we go. And just to be sure, I peeled a few while just as test and cut them in two. And while the eggs are boiling, I chopped up, minced up, really finely minced up half a celery, made about a heaping tablespoon of celery, dill pickle, and a teaspoon of onion. And I'm just going to put that in my bowl here. We're going to add to that about a tablespoon, heaping tablespoon, maybe or two. I'm going to wait to see how the eggs turn out, but I'll put another one in there. I like mine mayonnaise. And a little bit of spicy brown mustard, about maybe a couple teaspoons of that there. I didn't measure it out, just eyeballed it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut all our eggs and pop the yolks. Put the yolks, well look, now they're breaking. I should have cooked them maybe a little bit longer. I cooked them 15 minutes. Normally I cook them 20. So I'm just going to be a little careful here. I'll take my time and pull these out. The ones that break like this, I'm just going to mince up and make it a part of the filling for the other eggs. So that's why I make extra eggs. So I just need 12 halves. But I cooked 11, so that would make you like 22 if they all came out perfectly, which sometimes they crack. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to mix all these ingredients up, take all the yolks out of the eggs, which is kind of time consuming, and you can scrape it out with a teaspoon, like I should have been doing. Let me grab a teaspoon here. And like that, and they usually come out a little easier. There we go. And that's what I'll do the rest of that batch of eggs, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, bye-bye. Hey, we're back. What I've done, I've pulled all the egg yolks out, and I put them into my mixture here and mashed them up, as you can see. Plus I added pepper, salt, curry powder, some garlic, and a little chili powder. I'll put the recipe on at the bottom. After I did that, I begin to fill the egg whites up, like so. And I like to be generous with them so that they kind of stick up like that. And the traditional topping for this is paprika. And I always put my paprika on before I put them into the serving dish, because it tends to make if you try to do it in a serving dish, then you've just got red everywhere. So I'm going to sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Get them all with a little bit of paprika. And then we're going to place them into the serving tray. And normally I would have my potato salad in here, but I didn't have any potatoes in the house. So one time I did have an emergency where I had to have potato salad and I had no potatoes. You know, one of those party emergencies. So I had canned potatoes and I had instant potatoes. And I hate to say this, but I cooked up a batch of instant potatoes, heated those canned potatoes up in there, and then put in my mayonnaise and all my ingredients. And nobody said anything, so it was edible. But not one of my finer moments there with the canned potatoes. But you just can't run to the store and then peel them and chop them and cook them and everything on the fly. But so this is my deviled egg recipe. Also tip for boiling fresh eggs. And one more last tip. You might see that I've saved all the water that I boiled the eggs in. Don't throw that away. I'm going to save that because you've got a lot of calcium and magnesium and a lot of vitamins from your boiling the eggs that I can use in my garden. I'll just put a little bit of some little liquid kelp, maybe some fish fertilizer in there with it. It's a little boost for your flowers. Plus I save all my egg shells. I dry them out good. Actually I put them in a little blender and get them powdered up for either give them to the chickens, or I can put them in the worm bin, or I can put them directly into the soil around the plants, which is a good arrangement for them too. So there you go. Maybe next time we'll get that homemade potato salad recipe in there and we'll have the whole picture. How about that? Until next time, it's Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. And if you like our videos, subscribe, like them, and share them to your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media that you have. And we sure appreciate it because you have a great day now. Bye-bye.